second cooking demo of our holiday series. So welcome, glad you could join me. Before we get cooking, just wanted to highlight some of the stuff we've got going on this month. We're heading into the holidays, and we've got a fun, healthy holidays bingo for you. Which is just a fun way to keep wellness in the forefront this holiday season. So you can click that link. It'll take you to download the bingo card. And then we've got Planksgiving starting on Monday. It's a week-long challenge, so you can find more information on our Slack page. And then don't forget that we have one more cooking demo next week of the whole year. This is the last one. So if you can join me for our dessert, that'll be next week. So go ahead and stop sharing my screen and we will get to cooking. So today we are going to be doing a side dish that is super easy. It's going to be quick. There's not much ingredients, and it is very festive because of the colors. And I am adding a little bit to this recipe. And the good thing about this is it's a great base, but you can add vegetables as you please or fruits. You can do kind of what you please with this base recipe. So that's very nice. So I have a pot full of water boiling. So first step is to go ahead and boil our gnocchi. So I just got this. If you can find gnocchi in the pasta aisle at your grocery store. So that's where you'll find it. And then we're just going to cook this. It cooks so quick, which is nice. We're going to do 2 to 3 minutes in boiling water, or until it starts to float. So we're just popping these in, and I've got 1 pound here. Trying not to get boiling water everywhere. If you haven't cooked with gnocchi before, it is very similar to pasta, but it's made with potato. So it has a little bit more fiber than pasta would, and it's a little less in calories than most pastas. So it's a great alternative if you're trying to switch it up. Also a great thing for the holidays. And also, I considered making homemade gnocchi, but I figured, I'd just take the easy route today. But it's very simple to make your own homemade gnocchi. All you do is you have, it starts with mashed potatoes, which is also a nice thing for the holidays. If you have leftovers, you could use them. Only thing is when you're making gnocchi, you want more dry mashed potatoes. So if you could if you're making the mashed potatoes for your family, you could set aside some mashed potatoes and keep them dry, and then make some homemade gnocchi later on. So that's a great way to just kind of switch up your leftovers a little bit. I'm pretty sure it's just flour, probably eggs, I would assume, and then it's very easy. I do know that. So while those gnocchis are boiling, I am cutting up some cherry tomatoes. Now, this is not in the recipe, but I'm adding it because we've got spinach. And so with the green of the spinach and the red with the cherry tomatoes, we're going to be festive, right? So I'm super excited to add a little pop of color with these cherry tomatoes and flavor. I'm a big fan of cherry tomatoes. So I'm just cutting them up into bite-sized pieces so that we can throw them in later. So I don't even know if I said what we're making. Crispy gnocchi with feta and spinach. That's what we're making. That is what the recipe is called. Our gnocchi is getting close. Again, it only takes 2 to 3 minutes for that gnocchi to start floating. And that's when we know they're ready to drain. We're going to be cooking the gnocchi 2 ways. So we're cooking it here by boiling it. And then we're going to be almost frying it a little bit in our frying pan to get it nice and crispy, which is what I think makes this recipe a game changer. And everything today, the spinach, the tomatoes, the feta, I'm just going to be eyeballing. I'm going to be measuring with my heart. But I'm Pretty sure it's like 4 ounces of spinach or 4 cups of spinach that we're going to be using. All right, our gnocchi is almost done. Most of them are floating. I'm going to give it like 30 more seconds and then we're going to drain it. So I've got some tomato all cut up into bite-sized pieces. I'm going to go ahead and start heating up my oil in our frying pan. Because once that gnocchi is done, I'm going to drain it and we're going to cook it in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Draining. All right. So technically this is cooked and ready to go. If we weren't making this side dish, we could throw a sauce in there, throw a protein and be done. But we're not going to do that. We're going to crisp these up. All right. I'm going to throw a little bit more oil. And that is the rest of my olive oil. All right. So the trick here is that we want this to be super hot before we put the gnocchi on, because we want it to cook properly. So we're going to wait for that to be nice and heated up, about medium-high heat. And then we're going to drop these bad boys in. They're already hot, obviously. So we're going to crisp them up for about 2 to 3 minutes, and we're not going to touch them. I'm going to step away and I'm going to let them sit. And so that they crisp up on one side and one side only, and then we'll start to stir them to get a golden brown color on the other sides as well. All right, I think we're ready to roll. So tossing these in here, and I'm just gonna make sure they're in an even layer on my pan. And then again, I'm just gonna let them sit and kind of fry up on one side. Now, if y'all have any side dish recipes that you love, that your family loves, please share them. We'd love to see everyone's recipes so that we can try them in our own kitchens. So feel free to share them in the chat or go to our Healthy Eats Slack page. Again, I'm going to shout out that channel. If you haven't been added to Healthy Eats, let us know, we can add you. But it's a great place to share recipes. I'm going to be doing a fun challenge come December, so definitely join that channel if you haven't already. All right, 2 to 3 minutes there. So at the bottom of this recipe, it says that you can add cherry tomatoes like we're adding, and then you can also do zucchini. You could add cucumber if you wanted. So again, lots of ways you can spruce this up, which is amazing. One of my go-to tricks with really any of our dinners in my family is adding some type of dark leafy green to really anything I'm cooking, because you don't even notice it's there, especially spinach. It wilts down to almost nothing. You put like the whole bag in there and then it ends up being like one leaf at the end. But I love it because you don't even notice it's there, but it adds so many vitamins and minerals into your dish. I like to do that with pasta a lot of times. If I'm doing a vodka pasta meal, I'll throw some sausage in there and then I'll throw some spinach as well, just to add color, add some vitamins and minerals. And yeah, you're getting a nice little veggie in there and you don't even know it. I also like to do that with broccoli. And I like to cut my broccoli up super small, like almost shred it almost, and then throw it into the pasta. And again, you don't even know it's there. So it's an easy way to add vegetables to really any meal. Check in. Okay. We're going to let those sit. So once those have crisped up on one side, we're going to start to stir it for, again, about 2 to 3 minutes. And we're just getting crispy on each side. We are also using feta today. Feta is a great cheese because it's higher in protein. Obviously, lots of calcium, so it's good for your bones. Obviously has probiotics, which is good for gut health. But the one thing we need to be careful about with feta cheese is that it is a little bit higher in sodium. So if you're watching your sodium content, be mindful that feta has a high amount. We are going to season with salt and pepper, but I'm going to go easy on the salt when I season because feta has a little bit more salt in there. So just a heads up. But great cheese because it's higher in protein than most. All right. Gonna let those go a little bit longer. I'm a little concerned we're starting to stick, but I'm hopeful that we'll be okay. Fingers crossed. I hopefully added enough oil. I did run out, so we're winging it. But they're very sticky to begin with, so I think we're good. Did anyone try our first recipe of the holiday cooking demo series? Our first recipe was that brie and cranberry crostini. If anyone tried it, let me know how it went. All right, I'm gonna go ahead. Oh yeah. Yep. We have a golden color on the bottom of these gnocchis. So now I am just tossing them. And we can hear the lovely popping, the sizzle from this frying pan. We're cooking now. All right. So I'm just going to gradually stir these. So again, that each side, we want a nice golden brown color. Oh, I forgot my garlic. Let me grab that. So the recipe calls for, I believe, 2 cloves of garlic. Now I'm taking the lazy girl option and I'm using minced garlic that's already cut and jarred. So don't be afraid to take the quicker route if it benefits you. And I'm again just gonna eyeball this. So all right. Making sure I'm doing everything right. All righty. Gonna go about 1 more minute on these, and then we're gonna reduce the heat and we're gonna add in garlic. And we're gonna try not to burn the garlic. We don't want to do that. And then we're gonna add in our veggies. This side dish can be stored in the refrigerator, but it's best if you serve it right away. Wow, I literally just answered that question without even being prompted, like right then and there. Yeah, it's best fresh, like as soon as you finish, put it on a plate and serve it, which is nice because it's very quick. So it's something that you can easily start. Like if you're making multiple things, you can do this at the very end. It's very quick and easy. But yes, it's best served fresh. You can put it in an airtight container. I would say probably use it within the next day. I mean, it's just going to get kind of soggy and, um, you know, you know how it goes. All right, you guys, I'm decreasing our heat and I am adding in some minced garlic. And I'm a big fan of garlic, so I've got a hefty hand. And we're going to give that a nice stir, and we're going to stir until it's flagrant to where you can smell that garlic, which doesn't take long. I can already smell it. But we want to be careful not to burn it, so super quick and easy there. Next, we're going to add our spinach and our tomatoes. So, got my spinach here, and again, I'm just gonna go for it, eyeball it. But just be mindful, it looks like a lot of spinach. It's not. It withers away to just about nothing. But again, you get all of those nice vitamins and minerals that come from those dark leafy greens. And when you're picking out your greens, just remember that the darker it is, the better it is. So our romaine lettuce is going to have less nutrients in there than, say, spinach or kale. So you want to go on the darker side when you're picking out those. I know some people have a love-hate relationship with, those darker leafy greens, but you're definitely getting a good amount of nutrients there. So if you can, I would definitely suggest this holiday season, maybe swapping out a romaine for a spinach. Kale is definitely a tough one for a lot of people, the texture and just the overall bitterness of it. So maybe don't go straight kale, but you can do a spring mix that incorporates a lot of good ones. But definitely, if you can, try to go for that darker option. All right, so we've got our spinach. That's going to wilt down. And then I'm going to go ahead and add in our tomatoes because I do want them a little soft. And this is where you would add really any other vegetable you want or fruit, whatever you're feeling. But we already have such a beautiful color, red and green and white with the gnocchi. So I wish I could. Can y'all see that? Yeah, you can. It's looking gorgeous already. And our gnocchi is nice and crisped up. And this process is going to take about, again, 2 to 3 minutes. And we're just mixing until that spinach is nice and cooked down like we want it. Right. I would say if you're cooking for a lot of people, you might want to double this recipe because it doesn't look like much. I'm not sure what the servings are on this, but I would imagine it serves 3 to 4. So just be mindful of that if you're cooking for a good group of people. You might want to double it or even triple it. Because it's sure to be a crowd favorite, right? All right. Looking delicious. And again, so colorful. Love it. All right, we're going to keep it going for a little bit longer. All right, note to self, if I did this again, I would cook the gnocchi a little bit longer, get more of a crisp on it because the spinach is adding some more moisture in it. And so it's starting to dampen up a little bit, plus the tomatoes, that definitely adds a little bit more moisture as well. So to keep the crispiness of the gnocchi, I would really crisp it up next time around. I mean, we still have the golden crisp, but it's getting a little bit wet. And I could keep it going, try to dry things out, but for the sake of time, we're going to go ahead and add in our feta. So we're going to remove this from the heat. And measuring with my heart once again. Stirring in the feta, and then we're going to just give it a nice stir to incorporate that feta into our potatoes, into the spinach. Oh my goodness, this looks so good. Yum. All right. Let me grab my plate and y'all will be able to see the finished product. The feta is almost like snowflakes. You guys, this is so festive. I love it. So delicious, so easy. It was pretty hands off. And that is our finished side dish. It smells amazing. And again, not a ton of ingredients, which is so nice. So if y'all try it, please let me know. Send us a picture. Let us know how it went, how it tasted. But same time, same place next week, we're going to be doing our dessert. So get excited for that. If y'all have any questions, please let me know. But that's it for this week's side dish. Thanks for hopping on, guys. I'll stay on to answer any questions if y'all have any. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. All right, if there's no questions, I'm going to jump. Thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. See you next time.